All right, hey, welcome to the next episode of Extreme Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Todd Bailey. The gentleman just to my side there is my producer, Paul. What's up, man?
Hey, not much. Doing good here. I want to let everyone know to check out the social media there above his head. That's going to be at TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And then we've got the podcast places over the head of our fun guest here today, and that's going to be over at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Audible, and more, as well as Podbean. Yep. Make sure that you give a like, comment, and subscribe. We very much appreciate it.
That's awesome. Good job there, Paul. And like Paul said, we have a guest. So we'd like to welcome one of the co-founders of the Lightning Leagues, Rilio Mastrantonio. Rilio, what's up, man?
Hi, hello, gentlemen. Glad to be here. Very excited. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's awesome to have you here. So on today's show, we're going to talk about a few things here. Of course, we do NFL and fantasy football. We're going to talk about Rilio and what he did when he created Lightning Leagues. We will chat about some NFL quick hits that we got going on there. And we're going to dig a little deeper into his Lightning Leagues and, of course, then our Pick One segment. As always, our website is extremeff.com. And if you want to be a sponsor on our sites, please let us know. Get a hold of us social media-wise or at our info@extremeff.com email address. All that being said, really, are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this. All right. So, Rilio, tell us a little bit about the experience that Rilio Mastrantonio. I'm going to love saying your name.
I can see that.
Hope I don't chop it up too poorly for you.
You're doing a great job. Great job.
Thanks, Rilio. Tell us a little bit about your experience playing fantasy football in general, and then where the idea or what happened to trigger this thought of creating one of or all the formats in Lightning Leagues.
Well, we got to go all the way back to when I was born and as a child. I'm just kidding. So we go all the way back to, although it's a long time for most people, actually started playing fantasy football. I was at University of Illinois in college. I was a sophomore, 1984. Yes,
when I started.
With an 8. Yes. So we're going on 42 years coming up this season. So been playing way back. The scoring was very simplistic: 3 for a touchdown, a field goal, 6 for a touchdown, over 50 yards double. That was it. So I needed to wait till Monday morning and do it through the papers, and I had to publish stuff on Mimeograph. Yes, I said Mimeograph. And distribute it because there was no way to get the information out. So it's kind of like walking uphill both ways. So, the parents tell you. So did that through college and law school. And then when I got out of law school, I came back to Chicago area where I'm based and been here my whole life. And I just started a league locally, the KGFFL. And that league's been ongoing since. So 36 years and 34 playing, 2 years off.
Wow.
So, but many other leagues along the way. So,
very impressive. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So what precipitated it, the Lightning Leagues, to fast forward, is basically I've played every format imaginable on pretty much every format created to man. Whether it's, whether it's the
Sounds
MFL,
familiar.
You're a veteran.
whether it's MFL, whether it's RT, Yahoo, ESPN, you name them all. I've played on some that aren't even around anymore. Mm-hmm. So, and I played for a while baseball and basketball in the early 80s and 90s and stuff. So, I was in all of them. So, it's a family affair. My son and my 2 nephews got together, and they're fantasy football people. And I realized that I like the apps out there. I'm not dissing any apps. They're quality apps, but there's some things that just made me crazy about them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to build an app that's simple, easy to use, focuses on fantasy football for now, and is also we're not going to compete with ESPN, Yahoo, all the big guys. That's not our niche.
Sure. Yep.
On Light Leagues, we have redraft, we have best ball, sure. But we said, I was very creative in my leagues because after you play for that long, you're looking for some more juice, right? I mean, let's face it. It's you're looking for juice. You're looking for some other league to do it. So about 7 years ago, I started conference versus conference, or AFC versus NFC, which we'll talk about. later, and been doing that league since. And then my nephew Rick, Dick as he calls himself in the company terms, he's been he did a vampire for a while. So we kind of put our heads together and said, you know what, we're not going to compete head to head, but there is a niche out there for new leagues. And here's what drove us to it. We've all tried to run these leagues in other platforms that are not built to run those leagues. And every commissioner out there, if you're listening, you know what the heck I'm talking about. You try to shoehorn in an elimination league into like a regular sleeper or ESPN, and it's a nightmare because it doesn't do what the league needs it to do. So we've designed our leagues to be to do what it's supposed to do. So the Vampire League is a Vampire League. Mm-hmm. And so it's commissioner friendly is the bottom line. You don't have to worry about, do I have to queue up all my players, delete a whole team, and then redistribute them? It does it all automatically. So we found there was a hole in the market for that, and we wanted to fill it. So we put our heads together and rolled out 3 games initially. We've got a couple more coming out next season that we've already got on the drawing board. Maybe mid-season as a test, we'll see, but we don't know. So that's the genesis of how it all kind of came about.
Nice.
Sorry, go for it.
It sounds very similar to what we did. First of all, you're the same age as I am, so I was playing back in the early 80s too. I remember, the USA Today was my friend on Monday morning and even Tuesday getting the Monday night games. And I can respect the fact that, well, for me, I was getting bored of the same old formats like yourself. I had done almost all of them in the past, and I just wanted to create something a little more exciting. So we did that. So I can definitely appreciate the creativity that you and your co-founders put together to create Lightning Leagues. And I love the names. So, Paul, you and I have hung out with Rilio and his team a few times at the Expo and then me at the FSGA. So give me your thoughts on Rilio and the Lightning Leagues and his whole team.
Yeah, well, Rilio is particularly not my favorite part. No, I'm joking. So we've, it's a really, really cool idea. It's always been fun hanging out with you guys whenever we're at the Expo, and because you guys always got a booth over there as well. So, yeah. I think that when it comes to your different formats, like I'm sure something like the Vampire League is something that people come across through, I guess, experimentation / like boredom of like the regular game, which, to be fair, I'm a little bit fresh back into fantasy as a player again. And, going with like redraft is definitely like the approachable, friendly option for anybody to just hop into, see how they do, right? But even still, like after doing that for just 1 year again, back to it, I was like, oh, right. This is what you run into when you're playing redraft. Like these are the usual positions that you get locked out on. And it's not an enjoyable process, right? At least at that point, right? It's a blast. I'm not saying I dislike it, but there are points of it where it struggles, where I'm sure something like the Vampire League is a perfect example of like, you could try to replicate that experience in regular gameplay, but the chance that you're going to be able to properly have the people like distribute back to the waiver wire after you like eliminate a team and have everyone be available and have all different players like on the same page to know to like wait for their turns or whatever, like it's got to be such a complicated experience where having the opportunity to do it with like what you thought were the pains it's really, really cool. It's great. I love seeing people get out here and make something new. So yeah, I'm a big fan. From what I know about it. I'm excited to learn about more actually right from you today.
Yeah. Well, we will get in. Well, hang on. We will get into a little more deeper of a dive into the Lightning Leagues and the 3 formats. But let's quickly talk about some of the hot press topics in the NFL right now, and then we'll focus on the rest of the show on Aurelio, and we can dig deep in the formats and tell us some of the key strategies, some best parts, and some basic rules. Let's get into some of the weekly news right now, Pablo, if you could. Deebo Samuel is back in San Francisco. Now, I gotta say, I have him in my dynasty league, so I'm okay with that. But he's coming in town, from what I understand, or back in town because of Ricky Pearsall being out for the season, which is a big blow. I think Pearsall had a lot of upside. So give me your thought there, Aurelio, on Deebo Samuel back in the Bay Area.
Well, I mean, they do need another running back besides McCaffrey. No, I'm sorry. Did I say that? So, Debo, no, I am mixed on Debo. I love his tenacity. I love his, he's a tough player. But the Ricky Pearsall was obviously catalyst for that. And I think Debo's feel comfortable there. I think Brock Purdy will enjoy having him there. And I think he'll be a good offset for Mike Evans, because Evans is going to be that guy for the big play, and they need somebody underneath to do it. We don't know about the new rookie. We don't know how he's going to be, whether he's going to fill the slot role or not. I think there's room for him as well. They lost Juwan Johnson, so they had some holes to fill, and I think Debo was an excellent insert. He knows the system. He's comfortable, and I think that was just a good move by John Lynch to bring him in and kind of plug that gap. So.
I do agree. Yeah. Any thoughts on you, Paul, about Deebo Samuel back in town?
I mean, I think that it's funny. I want them to address the running back issue more than I care about like the Deebo back on the team. But I do like seeing people out there who have had the experience. So I am happy to see him on the team, and I'm sure he'll do well with Brock.
You are so young and so jaded. I love it.
I want what I want, and I want it to happen right now.
I get it. I get it. Wait 20 years, it'll be even worse. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next one here. This is kind of strange little newsworthy note here. What is this? Jalen Polk, second year. He's been playing 2 years. This is the third year. 2 years removed from the draft, and he decides to retire. So give me your thoughts, Aurelio, on Jalen Polk, and does that really hurt this young Saints offense, or not so much?
Well, a little known background fact: I am a certified NFL agent currently. I don't really practice much anymore. I work with my partners, and I don't really go out and recruit much, but I'm still tangentially involved. But I did it hardcore for like 10 years. So I've had some good draft. I've had about 4 draft picks in my career, which is great. And
Cool.
So I can appreciate and maybe not tackle it from the football side of things, but from the player side, because I don't know nobody knows the backstory until Jalen comes out and says it. But I had a player. He was on the Chiefs, and he came from Division II, and he played 3 years total. After the Super Bowl team in Kansas City, he retired.
Okay.
Out of the blue. I get a phone call one day. Hey, man, appreciate what you've done, but I'm hanging it up. I won't say who that player is, but people probably will figure it out. He's a great person, great human.
Okay.
But the point is that sometimes it could be medical. It could be personal. It could be mental. It could be some other, because us as the public, like I even told my friends and associates and partners, and they're like, what? What's he thinking? And why is he doing that? And he's in the prime of his career. And, and he just came off a Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, Oh my God. And, it's like, why? And the true reason is Jalen has something going on that he feels that football is not for him. That's between his family, his agent, and his team. And we're never going to be able to see in that. It's a big loss. I mean, there was so much potential there. So taking it from the agent perspective, it's a tough pill to swallow. It's tough to see young talent like that retire. It's a shame. As far as the effect on the Saints, yeah, it's going to have a little bite, but they have Jordan Tyson, so they have a plug to get there. So I don't think and they have Olave, so they're going to be pretty stacked in the receiver area. It never hurts to lose depth. I'm sorry, it always hurts to lose depth, but at the end of the day, so that's kind of 2 angles from it. The football angle, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit, but I think they're still going to be okay. I'm more worried about Tyler Show than I am about the receiving core personally.
Okay.
But and then from the agent perspective, you just have to sympathize with the player and understand that there's something going on there that he determined that he doesn't want to play football anymore, and you just wish them the best, move on.
Yeah.
Do you think
Any
that
thoughts,
that's
Paul, with
something?
you?
Oh yeah. Do you think that that's, I guess, from an agent's perspective, something that happens from time to time, where a lot of people who aren't agents would be like, "Oh, this is wild. Like, what's going on? This doesn't make any sense," and they just kind of look at it as a single isolated experience, where like you might see it and be like, "This does happen. It's not something that you like you said, a tough pill to swallow, but it's something that happens out there." Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think that that's a cool perspective because I definitely wouldn't have thought about that myself.
Yep. Until
So
you've experienced it on the other side, it's devastating. I mean, and beyond, and everyone thinks, oh, agents all about money and stuff. Yeah, I lost money on his future stuff,
Sure.
but it's more than that. It's just as an agent, you build up, you get to know the person, you see
right.
them, and you see the potential they have and the future they could set up, and it just breaks your heart because they don't have that. But they're doing it for the right reason and their own reason, and you can't dispute that. You
Sure.
don't try as an agent. You don't try and talk them back into it. Like people think, like Arlo, our list. They used to watch our lists and best in the movie with The Rock, the show.
Sure.
People think you're calling the guy going, "You got to come back, man. You got to come back, man." That doesn't happen. You're just sympathize with the player and you say, "You know what? I understand. Thank you for putting your faith in me. If I could be of help in the future, let me know."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, it is one of those young talents, and he's had a successful career so far. Playing on the New England's team last year, you get to the Super Bowl in your year two. With that's a huge plus there, right? So I wish Jalen all the best luck in the world. I hope it's all okay, and we gotta move on to Travis Hunter. He's back in the news again. Like every year we have the Travis Hunter kind of a discussion here. Now, of course, he's the cornerback and receiver. Now, earlier in the season, I heard he was only going to be taking cornerback snaps, but now that the training is going on, he wants all snaps. So, my question to you, both of you, is: do you feel that any player, I don't care how good you are or how bad you are, any player, can anybody play all snaps?
I don't think it's possible to play all snaps. I just think there's only one football on the offensive side of the game, and you have some powerhouse receivers on that team now. I mean,
Right.
you have some amazing talent. You do it's. I just don't know that Travis is gonna get the snaps that he thinks he gets, even if he did get all the snaps. So to me, I'm not a coach or anything. I'm just a dumb agent. So, the coaches, I would use them in a specialty. I would just use them in a specialty role if he wants some snaps. But as far as playing all the snaps, I mean, physically you wear down. How good are you going to be in the fourth quarter if you played every snap of the game?
Right.
And you're up against Mike Evans in the fourth quarter and you got no juice left. Or you're up against the new kid from Chicago, the kid that runs 4.2. I mean, you're trying to cover a 4.2 guy in the fourth quarter after you've played every snap in the game. I wouldn't trust
it. No, not in the big leagues. No.
So I think it's a good thing to say you want to do that, but in practice, I don't know if that's really going to happen.
Right. Yeah, I would also agree that when it comes down to it, it's impractical, and that's why you don't even see the best players doing that because it risks them more than it benefits the team. And so even if he wanted to have the talent for that, and although that could be awesome to see, and I think that we used to be more of a thing before I really was following fantasy too much, or back when I was a kid and before that probably. But nowadays I feel like you really don't see that, and it's intentional. And I think people get a little frustrated with it on the fantasy side because they want to see their players in for all those snaps, but it's just not what you actually want for the team's success overall. So
no, I mean Dion tried it.
Yeah.
Devin Hester played limited snaps for the Bears. There's been examples over the years, but even Dion took some snaps off. So
right. And look, Dion and Bo Jackson and other guy tried 2 sports. So your body needs time to heal. I don't care how good you are to playing like Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson, all the skills in the world of being athletic and all that, but having them play baseball and football you can't do both well. I'm not going to say you can't. I guess I'm going to say no one's done it yet. So no one's proven to us that you can play two sports well for very long, and no one I don't think's ever played two positions all snaps really well. And if I'm on a defensive coordinator playing against the Jaguars and I see Travis Hunter on the offense, is he going to be a decoy, you think, really, or is it going to be an actual play designed for him?
No, I think he'll be. I think if they use him right, it'll be a play that he could be in. You always don't want to tip your hand, but there'll be a play that he could be involved in, and that's another threat. That'll open up Brian Thomas. That'll open up, some of the other receivers there. But we'll get to Brian. I hope we get to Brian Thomas someday, but we'll get there. But I drafted him like 3 times now, and I'm losing my mind. But it's okay. I digress. So, but the whole point is, I think he can open up some lanes for the other receivers and maybe get a few catches here and there. I'm not saying don't use him at receiver. Just don't want every snap both ways. It's just, I mean, guys just do that in high school. They play both ways every snap. But that's high school, and they're like, 17.
Well, Paul, in your experience in high school, you were primarily defense, but when you're younger, you did both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that
both sides.
A big reason for that is just because, like, in high school, you don't have the talent. So when you find some people who are good enough to play both sides, it's not as much of a, like, it's not as much of a risk that player is going to be gone from your team and that you're going to have to be concerned about it. And the more important thing is that if you don't play them, you're going to have likely very bad players to be in that position instead. So having a person go both ways is just kind of like the unfortunate situation that happens. But to be fair, as somebody who is doing it, it's a blast. Like, you feel like you're the most important person on the team. Like, you feel like a captain at that point in time, So like those sorts of things are definitely a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right. Hey, the last one I have here, Paul and I discussed this over the past couple of years, so we know our stance. But really, what's your stance on since the first game is in 2 weeks or 2 days? What's your stance on starters playing in the preseason?
Well, once again, I'm going to tackle this from the fan, and I'm going to tackle it from the agent standpoint, because you'll find this fascinating. Okay, let's tackle it from the fan standpoint. I don't want to see guys get hurt of my stars in the preseason as a fan. I know they need to tune up. I get all that, whatever. So that's the fan standpoint. What you're going to find out is, from an agent standpoint, it's the same damn thing. I don't want my player out there in the preseason, it doesn't have to be, to get hurt. Let me tell you a real story that happened to me that cost me lots and lots of money.
I'm loving this little insider knowledge right now. This is great.
Player on the Bears. Player on the Bears. Moved his way up to number 1 receiver on the Chicago Bears, my hometown. I'm living life. I'm going to Bears games. I'm, whatever. He's number 1 receiver going into the season. Preseason, they play him. 3rd preseason game. Take your number 1 wide receiver and they run him over the middle on a route.
Okay.
Why? First of all.
Right. I understand that.
So he gets a horrific knee injury, multi-ligament tear. So now you've lost your number 1 receiver out for the season. Mm-hmm. So I am all for sitting your stars in the preseason. The Rams have done exceptionally well, and they sit their people every time. Preseason is for the bubble players. Preseason is for that 49 or 45 to 53 players on the roster. This is an agent perspective. That's who the preseason is really for, to figure out how you fill out the bottom portion of your roster. Going in to the 53-man cut, probably 46 positions are already set.
So you're including them like second strings then as well, even at that point. Even majority of third strings.
I mean, you got to see, there's some third stringers that could actually emerge.
Okay.
So you've got it, but the starter, like the stars and starters, there's no reason on God's green earth. And I know they say they're rusty and all that stuff. Give me a break. They're professionals. They'll rebound.
Yeah, they play.
Patrick Mahomes, he's rusty. Go try to tell him that. Okay, or one of those guys. I've been around these athletes, and they'll tell you some expletives I can't say on this particular panel here.
We appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you can't. Just they're professionals. They get it. Now rookies have a little tougher time because they have to learn the system. So they're kind of in the bubble in between. You do have to play them more than you do, but your proven stars like CeeDee Lambs and Devontae Smiths and and Christian McCaffrey's, no reason to play them during the preseason. No reason.
Okay.
They know the offense. They'll be good. You just bring on pain.
Right. I think then to jump on this with the opposite, touch with it, right? So normally one of our big things that we talk about is the excitement of the preseason, because that's what really I think suffers the most from these sorts of like decisions, which make a lot of sense. And I'm not gonna lie, like the way you say it as an agent, and if I was the GM of the team or if I'm the head coach, like I'm 100% going to say, let's make sure that we maintain our season future at this point. And so what can we do? What can we test? What can we figure out if players are going to be starting like second string, third string? Who's going to be filling out the depth chart where, further down? I think that makes a lot of sense, and I totally understand that. But I think the thing that suffers the most is excitement from the fans, because when you're trying to watch preseason as a fan, it's because you are trying to predict what the outcome of the season is going to be, and it doesn't do a very good job at expressing that to really give you much real insight towards that, right? I think that's where it ultimately can falter.
I respect that, but from a fan standpoint, I don't want Caleb Williams to go down in the preseason. I don't want Roma Dunze to go down in the preseason. I'm sorry, I'll sacrifice a little bit of preseason juice to have my star player out there on September, whatever that is, September 9th. So I'm advocating it, fan and agent. I just think
like that.
A quarter here, a quarter there, that's fine. I mean, they have to play some. You can't sit them the entire preseason, but take away any unnecessary risk, because I lived it, and that poor player cost him $20, $30, $40 million, and it's just a bad scene. Nobody's being out there. So
I will say
go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. On your side, like I know defense. I was on defense, and those defensive linemen, I'm sure even second string, third string ones that are getting a chance to play, when they only get a little bit to play the game, they're looking for blood. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see them trying to take their shot on a first string player and make a name for themselves there. And
I don't want to take this out too long, but another thing the viewers might enjoy is, okay, so you think about this logically, right? You got the bubble people, the 46 to 53, right? If you're an agent, you have one of those players, right? Like this is true with this Bears receiver. First season, I'm like, preseason, play. You want them to play as many snaps as they can play in the preseason.
Right.
And then once they make the team and become vaulted into that number one spot, now you're like, no, don't play. So it's amazing how the dynamic shifts, and even as fans, as the players become stars and grow, the fans evolve that way too. But it's just funny how that, from an inside perspective. So next time you see a bubble guy who's got talent but is making the team, in a couple of years when they become a star, you as a fan are gonna be like, no, don't get hurt, don't get hurt. When they're the 46 to 53 guy, most people don't know who they are. They don't care. So,
Right.
And you definitely don't run them across the middle on a slant pattern. You give them the either the fly, go deep pattern, or give me the 5-yard out,
On defense, though, give me that. Put it right over the middle. Let's keep their eyes elsewhere. I love that.
It was really bad. It was really bad. So,
for sure.
Rilio, let's dig deep into these lightning leagues. We mentioned a few of them, the name wise. So I want to just give you a format, and you tell us a little bit of, again, maybe not the why you created it, but some of the basic rules about it, and also a thing called a spark, which I'll give a little bit of a teaser there, how the sparks work with that, and then tell us the best part, some of the key strategies, and the basic rules. So let's go the conference versus conference format first.
Okay.
So tell us about that.
All right. So as I said, the genesis was I've been running this league myself for 7 years with my friends and family, and it's gone really well. People have enjoyed it, but it's tough to administer because you have to manually put the players in. You have to block every year a certain player in our league. I won't say who it is. Always thought Seattle was in the AFC for some reason. And if you're out there listening, you know who you are. And he would always be in the freaking AFC, and he would pick Seattle players. So then you got to go back and undo the draft, and it's just a nightmare, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our software actually lets you only concede your conference when you draft, so you can't possibly screw it up.
Okay, so
the basis of the basis of the league is go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. So again, so we understand this. If I have a league and you created it, then whoever half of the league is drafting from the AFC and half from the NFC.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'll go over the basic strategy of the game, the structure of the game. So the game is as follows. It's anywhere. It's either it's 8, 10, or 12 teams, I believe, 10 or 12 teams.
Okay.
And you divide up into 2 divisions. Obviously, it's Thunder and Lightning for our purposes. Trademark wise. So Thunder and Lightning. Lightning is red and Thunder is blue. So just to put it in perspective.
Okay.
Kind of figure out which conference you're drafting from. So basically then what happens is the commissioner has a choice. They can either random the league assignments or they can pick them.
Ah.
Now, what I recommend any commissioners out there, we're going to put this in our write-ups, is that what I do is you start in one league 1 year, and then the next year you're the other league.
Okay.
And then the third year you randomize it again. So you can never be in the same conference more than 2 years in a row.
Okay.
So that's some little practical tips for those of you running conference versus conference leagues that I've done. And it keeps it fresh because then you're not AFC for 3 years in a row. So now, the commissioner assigns the league assignments. Done. Draft comes. You draft like a normal draft, and we have 3 ways to draft. You can do a regular snake draft. You can do a 3rd round reversal, or an auction. So we have all 3 drafting platforms.
Okay.
So and you can pick any one for that. It doesn't matter. So then, literally, if I am the Lightning conference, I will only see Lightning players in my draft area. And if I'm the Thunder, I'll only see Thunder. You draft as normal. And then the season plays out. You play in each division person twice, each conference person twice. And then the rest of the games are random interconference.
Very cool. Okay.
And then the top.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Todd.
I was gonna say, so you don't play the other conference people at all. You said, right?
You do. You play with the remaining balance of the schedule.
Okay.
So you play everybody in your division twice. So that's 8 games, or depending on the number of teams, 8 or 10 games, depending if it's a 10 or 12 team league. And then the balance, the other 4 games, or you can pick when you want to start your playoffs.
Now that's similar to
you can choose. Yeah. So the remaining 4 games, let's say, would be randomly picked interconference games.
That's reminiscent of the actual NFL conference scheduling, right?
Yeah, we tried to structure it similarly.
Cool.
And then the top 2 in each conference play, and then the winners of those go to the Lightning League Bowl.
Nice.
It's a Super Bowl of Lightning leagues.
So what week is that? Is that week 18 then for that?
It's up to you. You determine how long you want your season to be. It follows all the rules of a regular redraft. It's just
okay.
So you can go. Most people I wouldn't recommend go past 16 even.
Right.
Sure.
17 and 18 are sketchy leagues.
Yeah.
Or sketchy weeks. They're tough to run a league.
For sure.
So I would run it through 14 and then have your divisional playoffs 15 and then your Super Bowl or excuse me, Lightning League Bowl 16.
Yeah, you gotta be careful of that copyright.
Can't
Right?
say that. Not the Super Bowl. It's the Lightning League Bowl. Super
League.
Bowl's its own wonderful entity that's trademarked.
You know,
You go to the Lightning League Bowl.
I'm sure all the listeners we have out there will tell us, "Oh my God, you can't use the word Super Bowl." No, whatever.
Nope, you cannot.
Yeah, well, we can if we credit it as theirs.
No. We don't do anything with anything super. It's the Lightning League Bowl, and that's that.
Fair.
So,
I love it. I like
Lightning
that.
Thunder Conference. So that's how that leagues. And it's really cool because I find it easier to draft out of one conference than the other. I find it to be an easier draft. I just don't know why, but I seem to get better teams when I draft out of one conference.
Okay.
I don't know if it focuses me or what, but I'm telling you, man, once you try it, you'll see. You're like, okay.
Are you an NFC or AFC guy?
The Bears, I'm an NFC guy, but I just
Okay.
In my upcoming conference, in my real league that's not in Lightning leagues that I run, I was Thunder last year, blue, and I'll be Lightning red this year.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's move on. This one I've heard different names, so it's out there in different verbiage, but the Elimination League.
Yep.
So tell us about that. I think this is an awesome. I think it's a great idea, and I would hate it if I lost in week 1. But really, go ahead and tell us a bit about the Elimination Leagues.
I have been in so many of those. I've felt the pain of losing in the first week. It's brutal. It's just you just feel so like dejected. It's the most dejecting thing you can have. Because then you got 16 more weeks of people just going on, and you don't even want to check it, and you're like, but you do anyway because you want to see who's there anyway. So, elimination simply lowest score for the week, you're out, and your players get redistributed back into the free agent pool. And then you can do a waiver, but you should do a fab. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the fab budget where you get fake money to use through the year. Mm-hmm. So for those of you new people viewers out there or whatever, if you're new to fantasy football, the fab you'll hear that thrown around a lot. It's just a fake sum of money that you buy players with each on a weekly basis. And when you run out, you're out. So, and you bid against each other. If I do 20 fab and Todd does 25 and Paul does 30, Paul wins the player. So you basically eliminate, but we've added a cool thing. You can actually go up to 36 teams and you can do double elimination.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a
lot, actually. You can lose twice.
I do love double elimination.
We just threw it in there. We don't know if anyone's actually going to really try it, but so you can actually, so you are deep, you're diving deep. Yeah. So you can lose twice.
So with 32 teams then,
brutal.
I was going to say
36 teams.
Oh, 36.
36 teams. Yeah. So you might not even have a real starting quarterback. So you have to really do third round reversal for that draft if you're going to do it, or auction. There's no way. I would not do a straight snake draft with a 36 team league.
Yeah.
Just my It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
That is,
but it's a little twist. But most people will play straight up, 18 weeks.
Well, let's talk about the 18 because it sounds more kind of reasonable.
Yeah. Well, I love the. I just want to put it out there for any adventurous people that want to try it. Go for it. So, but the 18, go ahead.
What is the lineup format on that?
You can set it. You can set it however you'd like. It follows a similar.
So
path
the commissioner can pick. Okay.
Yep. We have a total flexible position in all the leagues, except Vampire, which we'll get to later. But in all the other leagues, we have total flexible formats where you can choose. We have a gajillion statistics you can pick from to put in your league. We have independent IDP. We have it all. And then we have you can pick positions as crazy as you want to get. It's
So
I wouldn't recommend it, especially an 18 team. I would dial it down a little bit, have a low bench, maybe 4 on the bench, but you're a commissioner, it's your league, so you can do whatever the heck you want to do.
Okay.
Here's an interesting question, I guess about like perspective for an elimination league here, because you've got whoever gets knocked out first, right? That player is technically the person who performed at the last place in the whole league, right? So what would you do to compare the feelings of getting eliminated first round as opposed to finishing last place at the end of an entire season of like a draft league? Would you say that, because to me it seems like it's at least less painful if you get eliminated early on,
It's more of I'm thinking about this. It's more of an immediate pain that just kind of goes away after a while. With the season long, you're just suffering. But then at a certain point, if you're like 2-9, unless you guys have, in all my leagues, I put in what's called like a toilet bowl, or I put in like a consolation bracket.
Right.
Every league I run, I put in a consolation bracket. We'll have those in Lightning leagues as well. Hopefully this season, if not for sure next season. But we'll have those in because I think that keeps players interested. And if you play for prizes on your own, of course, we don't play for prizes. But if you do, then you can have some money there to keep people incentivized to do it. So, but otherwise, if you're in a non-consolation league and you're 2-9 or whatever, you just kind of turn off.
Yeah.
You know, it really is more agonizing, I think, than just kind of getting severed at the beginning of the season.
I would agree, and I think that would change.
You got to turn in a lineup every week. So you want to maintain league integrity. All you young commissioners out there, make sure you get people that are going to still put in the lineup, even though they're 2-9, because it screws up the whole rest of the league. People don't understand. They don't. What do I care? I'm out. But then you give somebody an easy win, and then they might make the playoffs over somebody who didn't deserve it. So
yeah.
And it sucks for those two people who lost to you early on when you just randomly were playing and now you stopped, right?
Right.
So for anybody who happens to be in a Lightning League elimination league, if you do lose in week 1, 2, hell, even 3, 4, 5, 6, you could come over and join our Blitz.
There you go.
You can jump over to us because in our Blitz League, you can actually, if you don't even have to play weeks 1 through 9. You could jump on in and play weeks 10 to 18.
Hey, that's great.
And finish in the top 2 and still win the whole damn thing. So, if you lose quickly and Lightning Leagues, come on over to our Blitz and join us and we'll have a good time.
Just
you
a
have a great
subtle.
product. I'd highly encourage that. You have an excellent product. So I would highly encourage that. And the cool thing about the whole elimination is it gets exciting. And then there's strategy in that. I mean, I've been mulling that over with my peers for the last few years playing it. You gotta spend money to stay in the league, but then if you spend all your money, you're eventually going to get edged out. So you got to hang around long enough to get those Saquon Barkleys out there, and hopefully you have enough money to buy them. But then if you spend too much early, you're screwed later. If you spend not enough early, you're out. And then all the money you can't, like in life, you can't take it with you. Well, you can't take it with you in guillotine either. So,
So one of the things that I love about the creative fantasy formats that we've got, that everybody that we've been like interviewing, getting to know that in the industry has is like ways to react to the season. And I think that with Elimination League, when you know that these players every week you're going to be getting new players, or not new, but exciting players back into the pools, that all of a sudden, like you had mentioned, saving money or saving value there becomes important, right? Like it's not like normal auction leagues where, once the waiver pool is figured out, like you're kind of stuck with it, and you might be able to get some good stuff, but it's not going to be the same, right? You're not going to need the same value later on. That's actually really interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's awesome. Let's face it. By week 14, you might have Josh Allen on the waiver wire. You might have some killer players out there.
That's
and then there's kind of 3 legs to the season as I see it. There's the first beginning leg where you kind of try to save your money and survive. And then there's the middle part of the season where you spend to stay alive. And then towards the end of the season, there should be enough good players out there where you don't have to spend as much, because there's only like 4 teams left and you're dumping entire good teams back on the market.
Right.
So that's my experience with it. So, you might not have to spend as much towards. So that middle portion of the season, all you playing against me, don't listen to this. The middle of the portion of the season, the middle of the season, part of the season to me is the crux of the spending, because at a certain point, you get to the point where your team should be good enough where it's hard to upgrade positions. If you're one of the last 3 players, you shouldn't really have to upgrade too much.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Paul, I don't think you've ever done a league that had a fab, like an auction league or whatever.
I've not.
And
no.
It is different. And, an auction league itself is different, how much you spend and whatnot. But then you start getting into the fab money for free agents. It's like, how deep do I go? How much I want this guy, and it's a thing. It's a nice little twist. It's a
But I love
cool
that.
twist.
And I will tell you that the fab is tricky to handle, but the auction draft, let's talk about that for a sec. We have that format in most everything. You could do it in Vampire technically, I guess, if you wanted to, but I wouldn't stick with the regular draft in Vampire. But the thing about the auction is, to me, it's the most fair, because if I want Justin Jefferson, or if I want
Right.
Jamar Gibbs, I can pay to get him. If I'm 8th pick in the redraft, no way in hell I'm getting either of those guys.
Yep, I agree.
So to me, I love the auction, but not everybody loves it. So so that's to put a bow on the elimination.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the last format I want to talk about quickly. This is one that Paul and I are both in, because we actually created a private vampire league, and we are the True Blood Vampire League. So
that's awesome.
Joe Bliss, who is our vampire, he's popular on this show. He is the vampire out there running around, Bill Compton. And then all of us who are going to be in your vampire league are going to have character names from the show True Blood.
That's awesome.
So not Twilight. No, we're going to go with the True Blood vampires.
Wow, I'm really glad we didn't do Twilight. I didn't realize that there was a and or kind of thing, because we got the good one.
I would have been disappointed if you did Twilight. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, right.
I would have supported you anyway, but I would have been disappointed.
So really, we actually might need some players to join this league. We might have to come back and get you guys. So tell the world about vampire leagues and dig deep into that, because it is an intriguing story.
Sure. So, as I said, Dick, one of our co-founders, tried to run one on his own, a variation of it, and he had just a hell of a time running it, because it didn't do. It was hard to run, because when I tell you about the league, you'll understand why. It's just like putting a square peg in a round hole. It just doesn't fit. Right? So when we thought of this concept, we're like, okay, that's one we got to fix. We got to make vampire, right? So it's special. I mean, the mechanics are special. As a matter of fact, we should have a trademark soon on the name Vampire.
Oh, cool.
And
nice.
we filed a patent for the software architecture for the Vampire League. So
is that going to be like a on-brand name for the Vampire kind of thing?
No, it's just a patent on the mechanics. So, for example, the steal function, the blocking and the draft function, all the different claims.
Gosh. You guys actually created that?
Yes.
Wow.
So other leagues will not be able to replicate those claims in their software. They can run a vampire league, they can call it ghoul, or they can call it whatever, zombie, or whatever the heck they want to call it, but they can't replicate any of those mechanics.
Right.
So gives us a little bit of exclusivity there. So anyway, about the league. So the league chooses a vampire. Now they can do that two ways. It can be random, or the commissioner can pick the vampire. So in your case, was it random, Todd, or did you pick it?
No. Joe is probably the best fantasy football player that we have in our leagues. So he won the challenge of doing it.
He wants to run away with the season for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. So the vampire, here's what happens. Everybody, it can be 8 or 10. We've capped it because the position limits. And we have hard position limits. So you can't, it's a set position.
Okay.
Set. Because you don't want players hoarding players. Because the vampire will have no chance then. Mm-hmm. So for example, 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, that's the most you can draft. So and then a shorter bench. So what happens is the draft occurs. Everyone drafts except the vampire. The vampire does not draft. Then at the end of the draft, the vampire then chooses their team from the remaining free agent pool.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you're saying, oh my God, the Vampires going to have a crappy team. Yeah, they're going to have a great team. They're still be out there. But they get the first waiver wire every week for the whole season, regardless of winning position, stealing player, all that. None. They get the first waiver wire.
Okay.
So they're going to get the hottest player going.
Right.
If they know what they're doing. If they choose somebody that's not, well, it's on them. And then the third leg of this is if they defeat you, they can trade any of their starters for any of your starters for that week. So in other words,
that's
when
wild.
you refer to it, and you always do your little biting thing.
Bite. Yeah, they bite you.
when vampire bites you. So if the vampire defeats me, then they could pick any of my starter and give me any of their starter that week.
Correct. And there's an automatic button that says bite or steal. We haven't decided yet, but yeah, it's all automated in the software. So the commissioner doesn't have to do anything. It takes care of it all. Makes the swap done. So that you can't replicate on any other platform. It's just not possible.
Okay, gotcha. And then that's
the
also the square peg.
But it's just the less the commissioner has to do is it's better. I don't care.
Right.
If you're a commissioner who runs like 12 leagues. All right. So so then so the vampire slowly builds their power over the season. And you have to, as the non-vampires, have to fight them off. It depends how good they are and how well they do. But they got a lot of things going for them. A lot of things stacked their way. Now, the theory behind it is, I think I talked to you guys at Expo. Let's say you're 8-0.
Yep.
Okay. Paul, you're 8-0. Todd, you're the vampire. You're 2-6, but you're on the rise. You just got the latest injury. You got the starting running back now for the 49ers. You have the first waiver wire. You've won 2 in a row. You're playing Paul. You have, I don't want to besmirch anybody, but let's say you're still stuck with Mitch Trubisky, and Paul has Josh Allen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
You're 8-0. Are you playing Josh Allen against the vampire, Paul?
Well, no. I guess I would want to because I'm 8-0, and so you feel like you got to keep your streak going. But if somebody's, oh gosh, Josh Allen up for grabs, I want to do it.
So now, all of a sudden, now the vampires 3-6,
right,
and growing because they get the number 1 waiver wire. So now they're and then all of a sudden they're in the playoff mix and they start sniping people. And the stealing shuts off in the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, you can't steal anymore.
Okay.
So,
okay.
It's just so it brings up a lot of sub layers of strategy, and it's just a cool twist. And everyone wants to be the vampire. Let's face it.
Well, that's everyone.
I see people playing multiple leagues just to be the vampire in one league. I really do.
Right.
I see people setting up several leagues just so they're the vampire. Because I know that's what I would do. I want to be the vampire. I've never been the vampire yet in an active league.
Really?
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. I think that the vampire leagues are such a cool concept in general. I remember at the Expo last year, that was a huge buzz going around, and even still this year, it's I thought it was a fully established thing because so coming into the conversation today, it's super cool to just meet the people who really coined that idea and got it out there.
It's been in various forms. It's been written about. It's been talked about. But nobody ever made it
official
easy to run. That's really what we're trying to do and with this patent and everything, we're trying to make it vampire easy to, because before people used to run elimination leagues and it was a pain in the butt on a regular thing. But now, ever since there was software created to run an elimination league, it's gone crazy because it's easier. People love easy stuff. They don't want to have to.
Yeah. We're aware of that.
Run a league. So no, we're very excited about the vampire. That's kind of our flagship league. And we really want to, get that out there. And I think people, once they play it, it'll be a good, fun side league to do. And we do have redraft and best ball also, if people want to just use us for that. They might like our interface. and decide they want to play redraft, which is great. And then we're going to have bonuses for like the Sparks. You mentioned Sparks before.
Yes. Tell us about Sparks, because that's something that is brand new to me, and I'm aware of it because I'm talking to you for the past almost 2 years now. So tell us briefly about what Sparks are and how they work in any or all of your leagues that we have.
Yeah, we're basically going to create what's called a Sparks store. So you're going to earn Sparks. They're in-game currency. You can't buy them. You can't sell them outside. They're not like a meme coin or whatever. they're totally within our closed system. And what they're going to do is you're going to win those for, say, you're going to get for winning the week, you'll get X number of Sparks. You'll get X Sparks returning in your lineup, and you'll have a Sparks balance. And we're going to have a Sparks store, and you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to get cool like skins. We're kind of following the Roblox Fortnite model, where you can enhance your experience within the game by using your Sparks. And then we're going to do cross functions with other leagues. We're going to, other companies are going to have Lightning League leagues within them, and then they'll give away Sparks as their prize, and we'll do the same, whatever currency they have. So those things are all in the works right now. But the Spark store will be cool, and then eventually we're trying to pull it off for this fall, but maybe by mid-season we're going to have some fun weeks where we just do crazy stuff. We're going to do like all kickers and defense or whatever for the week, and then you'll be able to. We're going to make these little power-ups, these little like cards that are power-ups, and you can buy those with your Sparks and use one power-up a week. We'll have limits, and so you can't buy the victory, but it'll enhance your game, and it'll be able to power up just those leagues, though, not the regular leagues.
Yeah. Okay.
So it doesn't actually affect the outcome of any player or team in any of the leagues. It's more for aesthetics.
Aesthetics, and then power ups for other leagues, and then we're thinking of other cool things to use it for. But we've got a cool graphic that people are I can't disclose yet, but we're gonna roll that out right before the season. It's really cool.
Nice.
That sounds awesome.
I don't think anyone's doing it right now. It's really cool. And then we have leaderboards. So we're going to have a leaderboard for every type of league nationwide. So we'll have, the top 100, top 10 will get Sparks. The top 100 will get Sparks. And one cool thing is, like for your case, for your Vampire League, I hope you named it. Well, you named it True Blood. We're going to have to talk about that, Todd, because what we're allowing to do is, if you put maybe in parentheses like EFF, what happens is in the leaderboard we have a column in the leaderboard where the league name is in there. So for like bars and organizations that sponsor the league, if one of your people is in the top leaderboard, it'll show up in the business column.
Cool.
Gotcha. Okay. Name, the league name.
So you may want to slap EFFE on there.
Right. Very cool.
Just to have it on. So that's what we got in the works. And like I said, I hope people embrace the whole vampire thing. We're getting a few users. They're starting to build up a little mo here. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's a really exciting format for sure. And I like I said, I was surprised to meet you here today, because from the exposure that I've had to the fantasy industry, like the way of playing like that is it's a talk right now. People are excited about it, and I think it's very, very cool, very creative.
Thanks. And if anybody started any leagues and they need help, just email support, SUPPORT, at lightningleagues.com. Let us know any bugs. We'll get on them as soon as we can. We're still a little buggy, so we're working our way through, as you can empathize with, Todd.
Yep, we understand that.
And you can go several ways. We're in both app stores. We're in the Google App Store. We're in the App Store.
Nice.
You can get the app there. You can go to lightningleagues.com, and there's all places in there to download the app. We're not web-based. We're purely app at this point. Web, hopefully, we're shooting for next year. So you can find the app there and download it. And if you have any questions, there's info at the bottom of the website. So there's many ways to get a hold of us. We're an open book. We're open for suggestions, bugs, whatever you guys think. This is really for the fans, because like I said, we're trying to do things that other people just aren't doing. So
very much something
Well,
that we want to push everyone to a
awesome.
little bit. So if you guys are interested, make sure you get out there, check out lightningleagues.com, check out what they've got going on. Look at the Google Store, look at the App Store, Apple Store, and download it, check it out.
All right, so now let's go. Paul, this is your bread and butter.
All right, so you guys can't hear the fun part, but you can get the second part.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Pick one. See, Rilio, he has that radio voice.
This show is awesome.
So
pick one. That was great.
All right, Rilio. So what our pick one? Again, our world famous, self-proclaimed world famous pick one segment is.
I love it.
We pick a topic, we point, counterpoint, whatever it may be, but we have a guest here, so we're gonna jump on in, and we went through 3 different Lightning League formats. So we're gonna give you the first chance to tell us which one of the 3, conference versus conference, elimination, or vampire, which one you would pick, you're most intrigued by, you like the best, maybe you helped create the most. What was it? Which one of those 3 leagues? And give us a quick little rundown of why you are choosing that league format.
Well, the obvious answer I'm not going to give, because obviously, but I'm going to give one that you're going to surprise you. Probably not, actually, if you listen to what I said before. I'm going to pick conference versus conference.
Okay.
Because it is truly unique. It's a lot of baseball people relate to that because they do AL and NL only stuff. But it's kind of something that I've put in practice for many years. It's kind of my baby. And my partners were nice enough to indulge me and actually create the league. So I think, to me, while Vampire's enticing, elimination is cool, my baby is the conference versus conference.
Nice.
All right. I like that one. All right. Paul, any comments about the conference versus conference? Any comments about?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, my favorite thing about the conference versus conference, like from visually imagining, not visually, but I guess picturing what the season would look like. I love that it feels so similar to the actual NFL with conferences and the essentially like 2 sides of the bracket that naturally form and kind of like face off against each other. I think that's really cool. And I didn't think about until you were talking about how you'd want to change up the positions, or not the, not necessarily positions, but the people in each conference, and how changing that up could help keep it fresh, because, just thinking about it, of course, that's like a longevities kind of thing for it, right? But either way, really, really cool conceptually. And I think that that's what excites me the most about it. And plus, just being able to stick with one conference that you might know better. Like for me, especially with limited fantasy knowledge, getting back into it, sticking with something like the NFC would be, for me, the best way to get into it,
Right.
So, so yeah, I think that the conference versus conference is very cool.
I love it. All right, Paul, you have a choice of 2 remaining, elimination or a vampire. Which one you like?
Yeah.
And why?
I fully thought I was going to do vampire going into this today. But I actually had a lot of fun talking about elimination. And I think the thing that excites me the most about that is the combination of the auction style with the elimination style. I think the 2 of them combined make it so that it doesn't give too much power every week to those players to just like redistribute the best people back into the teams, and then whatever happens. I think that it's actually really cool to have to be smart about your spending to be able to try to make these mid-season changes, and then theoretically hold on to a little bit just in case later on you can get somebody cheap because no one else has the money to mess with it, So I think like it's really cool strategically. And I also think that it's a lot more approachable, and I think if I did poor one season that I would likely want to play again, as opposed to doing poor in like a regular redraft league where I feel deflated because week after week I'm getting beaten down. In this situation, you get beat down once, you feel like you didn't deserve it, and you're like, I gotta redeem myself, right? So you try again next year. I think that's really cool. I think the elimination league surprised me, but it's very exciting.
That's awesome. Rilio, chime in on that?
No, I agree. There's not much more I could say. You've nailed all the points. The one cool thing with elimination, you can do 2 things once you're eliminated. You can get the first half of the league that's eliminated and start a new elimination league mid-season.
Oh,
That's
nice.
one thing.
Nice.
And the second thing is you can go over and play EFFE.
Oh. There we go.
You have two options. You have two options if you, in fact, do get bumped early. So
You do.
That's very
why I
cool.
like But I like the whole concept. So.
Thank you, really. We love that plug in there also. And
Yeah.
Paul's sporting the shirt, so you can see the actual logo there.
That's beautiful.
I'm actually in the
Love that,
on a mall in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I'm in
He
park,
is on
I'm in a
vacation
car.
right
rough
now.
life for you there. I feel bad.
I'm in a car. But a minute ago I had to turn the car on. It was getting so dang hot in here. I had to turn the air on. So well, then you guys leave me at the Vampire League, which is great because we are in one, mentioned in True Blood, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I love the concept, and I love the hidden strategy, like you mentioned there. And you gave us that opportunity at the Expo with that 8-0 scenario here. I think that the Vampire would be just a blast to do, and I think it's amazing that you can take another player, and I would be so, I guess, stressed out playing the Vampire. I'd be like, oh my god, I'd be like, oh, but you know what? That just brings a whole new element that you're not going to get in a traditional, IDP even, or even most auctions or dynasty leagues. This is a way different thing. So I'm looking for something different. That's why we created the EFF leagues, our Blitz and our Exchange. So I would think that the Vampire League is fantastic. And if I'm playing against Paul and Paul's the Vampire and I'm 8-0, I for sure am not playing Josh Allen. I will take a loss and go 8-1 if I have to. And now I'm done playing that Vampire. A question I want to ask you though, really, you're playing the Vampire only once per season, right?
It's a regular schedule, so you probably play him twice. If it's a 10-team league, yeah, you're gonna play him at least twice. So,
okay, all right, well,
yeah, everybody's gonna get their turn. So,
as long as I win all of my non-Vampire games, I'm okay.
yeah. I mean, the worst, even forget 8-0. What if you're 4-4?
Right.
And you're playing the Vampire, and you can't sit Josh Allen.
Right
Now you're really stressing. I mean, I gave you the dream scenario where you can take a loss. What if you can't take a loss?
Yeah.
Right. No,
yeah, I love it.
In that situation, you've got to
roll it. You got to put your best team out there and try to kick the Vampire's ass. That's all you can do.
Right.
Put a stake in them. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So
right.
I was kind of curious.
Our tagline. This is great. We're rolling this out here preseason. It's the only game you can suck at and win.
There we go. I was kind of curious though. If I beat the Vampire, can I take his people though?
Nope.
You
got to draft.
Okay.
Right. You don't got fangs. You can't bite.
Yeah.
No. Only the Vampire gets that privilege.
I got my wooden stake though. I get a wooden stake.
Would Bill let you bite him?
Probably.
That's a good
probably
point.
not.
Good point.
Probably not.
I watched the entire True Blood, so I'm with you.
I watched it all too. So that's fantastic. And Paul would always say, "Where's Sookie?"
Where's
Sookie?
There we go. There.
Is anybody Sookie?
Not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. No.
Somebody's got to be there,
right.
for sure.
Somebody's got to be.
All right, Paul, go ahead and play us out of here, will you?
Absolutely. This
Thank
is gonna
you
be
so much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Rilio is Rilio Mastrantonio. I'm
very good.
I just butchered it, I'm sure.
No, you did a good job.
The co-founder of Lightning Leagues. We've had the opportunity to visit Rilio and his fellow co-workers a few times at the Expo and then at FSGA in Philadelphia recently. So that was great seeing you there. And as always, we want to thank our sponsors, which, oh wait, we don't have any. It could be you though. So if you want to have your name, anybody's name at this point, we will go ahead and we'll thank you. And then Paul's going to do his thing right now with the other stuff there.
Oh yeah, we got that social media there above Todd's head. That's going to be at TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. You can make sure you check it out. And then of course, YouTube is the podcast as well, and you can check out the other podcast places on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, and Podbean. So that's going to be where all that is. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. We very much appreciate it.
That's awesome. And Rilio, again, it's a pleasure to talk to you, learn more about Lightning Leagues and how the game created and a little more in depth and some strategies. And it's wonderful to do that. So thank you very much. And then, as we always end it out here, Rilio, we always say one thing: when life gives you a chance, Paul, what do?
You make it happen.
Make it happen. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Peace out.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep.